Greetings, geeks, and welcome to another edition of Wizards Hall. I'm Adam.
And I'm Mike.
And we have been hitting up the shops. We've been getting stuff in the mail. Like we got all sorts of comics that we want to share with you. Especially, I've been traveling. We had the 4th of July holiday recently. Whenever that happens, my kids know, oh, Dad's gonna look at comics. So I have to bring all the distractions and I have to bribe them. So, but I found a new shop because this one I was traveling through Idaho, and in the past they've had a nice back issue selection at one store, and I went in and they had this tiny little like 3 boxes, and that was it. Now everything else was gaming. I was like, oh, and then I went to a mall across the street, and they had a giant selection of comics. So if you follow us on social media, you've seen what I found there. So this is kind of a collection of all of that, plus like some here and there other little shops.
So this
So
is a bit
I'm
different
gonna
for us because normally I'm the guy at the shops and you're getting stuff in the mail. It's reversed this time. I got stuff in the mail and you hit the
It is
shop.
weird. It's weird how the tables have turned. So I'll do one stack here, then we'll go to you, do a stack. I'll come back with another because there's so much to get
Okay.
into here. But first off, I love my adaptations. This Total Recall, the reason I was so excited about it, Tom Lyle does the art in this, and he was like the original for the Robin miniseries and stuff
Yep.
that really got me hooked. So I was like, I want to see his interpretation. Does Tim Drake show
I,
up
I
on Mars?
I just got that book as well. It's great. Yeah.
I also picked up a bunch of Image parody comics, which was super fun. So I had Splitting Image #1. Now I have both. This is #2. This was the official parody that was like actually like Rob Liefeld, I think, kind of organized it with Don Simpson and said, "Yeah, you can do a parody of us." This one was unauthorized, Old Blood.
Oh,
Okay. And this is from Parody Press. This is some of their early stuff here. But this one was not quite as good, mainly because I realized there were so many Youngblood characters in the early days, or at least Extreme Studios. I didn't know who they were parodying because they were
yeah.
so generic anyway. And then I'm trying to like, wait, who's that? Who's that? I don't get the joke. Speaking of jokes, I've always heard about Jim Valentino and Normal Man because before Image, before Marvel, this was like what he was known for. And
Ah,
like apparently it's like this guy who kind of travels dimensions of different styles of comic book worlds. And so this was one where it was like Mickey Mouse mixed with Richie Rich. So anyway, it was just kind of cool to
that's
finally
great.
read what Jim Valentino was known for. Speaking of which, another thing he organized, Altered Image. We've talked about this because there was a wizard contest. I have issues 2 and 3 where the winners were printed, but I didn't have #1 to see how it all started. So that was great to find. On the podcast right now, on episode 95, we're going to be talking about the America's Best comics from Alan Moore. So I was
Yep.
able to pick up issue 1 of Top 10, which everybody is
Nice.
always telling me this is so good. It's so good. You'll get my review on the episode, but yeah.
And mine. And
Yeah.
mine.
Also coming up, though, we've been reporting on this a lot, was the change up in the Superman creative teams in '99 going into 2000. So I was able to grab a couple of the Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness books because I've always been curious why people loved that so much. We'll find out. Also got a couple of the DC 1 million books. And I was searching around and just randomly found out there was an 80-page giant of the 1 million story, and I've never seen that in any of the back issue bins, but still trying to complete my collection. Looking to the future on the podcast in just a year or so, we're going to be getting into cross-gen. So I was able to pick up a
Oh boy.
bunch of cross-gen #1s because I definitely wasn't reading them at the time, and I want to know what all cross-gen was offering in their fantasy superhero world. So I will be caught up. This was cool. Midnight Nation. So this is one of the half issues that it's been on my watch list on eBay forever, but I didn't want to buy it because I'm like, I'm not really into Midnight Nation yet. Our past guest Philip CV was just like, I love Midnight Nation. And so I was like, okay. So I was glad to get that and not have to pay shipping. Also, one of my favorite things ever, the Guyver. So I've been
Oh,
finding these back issues again. I always find issue #1, but I never find the other issues. And so it was great to find a few more of these. Also,
great.
look at all those toys on the back. I want toys. Speaking of my favorites, every loose issue of Madman comics I could find, I have to grab.
Very nice.
Um, Powers is another one of those books that I hear so much about. I know it was a big breakout book, and so I'm grabbing those when I find them just to kind of catch up. All right, we're getting to the bottom of this stack, but everybody knows I love Gen 13. I stopped reading when J. Scott Campbell left, so I've been trying to grab the John Arcudi, Gary Frank run. So I was able to fill in a few gaps there, which was nice. So I got these issues, which again, you look at them, you're like, it's okay. It's not.
Does Gary Frank's art kind of match his current style, or is it very different?
It's pretty similar. It's kind of like his Supergirl stuff of that era.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
because it was right after that. And then this is something that's going on right now in '99 in the issues we're covering, Divine Intervention. We just talked about this on an episode, but this was the Gen 13 of this like crossover piece. So I was like, I'll grab that one. And then I'm gonna tease this, and then I have another one I'll tease at the end with my second pile. But I did mention I went to a store and they had a bunch of Wizard issues. We have most everything in the archives, but how about a sealed copy of Wizard issue 14 with the card? Had to grab it, add it to the collection. You got
Could
yours
go
right
well
there?
with my what issue is it? The
16.
16. There we go.
All right. All right, let's see what else you got here,
All
Mike.
right. So, like I said, everything was mailed to me, and the first package I got was from Adam. It was, and look at all of these half issues Adam sent me that I did not have. I've never had. This one's amazing. Look at that. Are we reviewing these late? Oh, a primer. There we go. That's
Yep.
what I need. I should pull that out. Start reading it now. Hash half. That's cool. So that was fun to get from Adam, and he also sent me something else, but we're gonna do another video with that. Um, okay, what else do I have here? Okay, Read Your Comics, who is a guy on YouTube and on Instagram, who I've been friends with for a while, sent me a shirt that he had made, and it's so
Whoa.
good. Read Your Comics Day every day in January to December. Is that not fantastic?
That's awesome.
We're gonna have to have him on the podcast one of these days.
Definitely.
Okay, so what else did I get here? Sorry, I'm in my house is in a complete disarray, so I'm a bit disorganized. But I got a package from a guy named Jason Douglas. He is a writer as well. He did a book called oh my God, I'm gonna Jane American. That's his latest one. Everyone should go follow him. But he sent me this package, and I'm gonna open it up here on the spot. I've already ripped the tape, so let's see what's in here. Okay, it's stuff I like, Adam. It's my kind of thing. Some Christmas comics. Christmas in
Yeah.
July. So we got the Disney Afternoon. I did not have this, and it has some sort of Power Rangers thing in the middle. It looks like. Oh, a Power Rangers card.
Yep. I have some old kids magazines that have that insert too for this
Right.
game where you had to swipe it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, look at this. I don't have this. Claws.
Oh.
Santa with a gun and a cross. Oh,
And a naked lady
beautiful.
in the corner box?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh my God, I don't have any of these. Look at this Christmas classics book.
Walt Kelly of all people, yeah.
This is cool. Wow. Okay. And then oh, interesting. Why did he send me this? Oh, it's a Magnola cover. Ah, Strange Tales Magnola cover. We both collect Christmas covers and Magnola covers. That's the one thing we have in common. And this is one I didn't have, so that's great.
Sweet.
And oh, last but not least, actually, no, there's a couple things. Look at this Santa's Big Coloring Book.
That's a classic.
Oh my God, this looks old. Well, that's fun. And oh my goodness, he couldn't resist but sending a wizard poster at him.
Yeah. I got it right back here. See, it's on the
Oh
door. So
yeah.
now we can match.
I actually may have three of these. Somehow I have three.
Well, the
So
crazy thing is we're almost to the end of that poster. It only goes up to issue
yeah,
100, which is
that is
crazy.
crazy. Anyways, thank you so much, Jason. Uh, yes, and then I have another pile that we can do right after, Adam.
Okay, that's a good haul, man.
Yeah,
Ho ho ho. All right. So more of this stuff, but this is something where this is a book that I used to have all the trades for. I bought them after the fact. I heard about it in Wizard all the time. It's going to be coming up soon enough, so I said if I can get the first and
Ooh.
second issues of Ex Machina and remind myself why I loved it so much, why I wanted to read the whole story, all the
Is
better.
that Brian? That's Brian K. Vaughan,
It
right?
is,
Is that
yeah.
his like first comic or what's?
I thought Why the Last Man was before this, but maybe not. But because this
Oh, okay. So this is after. Okay.
yeah, yeah, this is after, but still, like, it was great to grab these. Another thing we've been reading about a lot, and a lot of people online when we post about it, they're like, I totally forgot that Larson did Wolverine comics. So I
Yeah.
grabbed a run of some of the Larson Wolverine comics just to kind of, I want to get the vibe of what he and Jeff Matsuda were doing together. So that's cool. Speaking of Wolverine,
Amazing.
how about his daughter, Wild Thing number
Ooh.
2?
Oh.
So. I have a couple of those issues. This was another one. I'm still trying to fill in the gaps on my Kevin Smith Green Arrow run because everybody talks about it. I want to be able to talk
I have
about it.
to interject. I met Kevin Smith recently and I brought my Green Arrow #1 and I forgot to get him to sign it.
Oh
I was
man!
just so in, awe of his presence and it's like
And
my
if you want
biggest
all the
regret.
details on that, by the way, make sure you check out our mini episode for episode 94.5, where Mike's gonna tell the whole story to you there. Also filling in gaps, Namor, right? So I keep trying to get as many as I could. So this one is the last John Byrne. This is the first Jay Lee. So I
That's
wanted.
first Jay Lee ever.
Oh,
Like his
really?
first art in Marvel.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So also, I have the first and the last issue that I've shared in past haul videos. Now I have the middle issues of Double Dragon, this adaptation, and so I got 4 of those. So now I have the full series.
Nice.
Interestingly enough, there's a different artist for every issue, but one of them we were just talking about recently, Tom Rainey. He did one of the issues, so it must have been some early work for him. Speaking of Christmas comics, Mike, I did message you and say, "Do you have this one?" You're like, "Of course," but now I have it. So, this was a weird thing here. So I've seen this before. So you remember mini mates? Mini mates were a big thing, right, in the mid 2000s. So this is Civil War, and I was like, "Oh, is this just a variant cover of the first issue?" No, this is like a weird, like, it's part of that Secret Wars event. Remember that Marvel did several years back? I see Secret Wars, and
Uh,
I hated that, and I'm so mad at myself because I was like, I should have looked at it before I bought it because that's my most hated event. I
oh
tried to
my
get
God.
new comics back then, and I'm like, this is terrible. I think Jonathan Hickman was in charge. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't know
And
what.
you're not liking his Ultimate Spider-Man. Maybe
Yeah,
you should stay away from all Jonathan
he's
Hickman.
not my guy. I don't want to read X-Men anyway. He's not going to pull me in. Um,
He's done with X-Men, so
Not
you,
anymore, I know, but
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
he had a long run. Um, but this I knew I loved, and I've been searching for these books forever. Okay. And that is Terror Inc., but the Max
Yes.
series. This one is
Mhm.
so good. I read this several years back digitally, and I've always been on the hunt, and now I got the entire series. But
I love that series,
I
Adam.
knew you
I'm
would.
with you. I'm with you. It is so awesome.
And there's a sequel too. So if I ever find
Yes.
the follow-up series, I'll be so happy because the 90s series, I love the concept, but the execution is terrible. The art is bad, the writing is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like a great idea, but they figured it out for the Max
They
series.
nail it with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last thing here, Mike. Tell me, what do you see? What issue is this?
100? Is it 100?
This actually, in the States, this was the cover for issue number 50, but in Brazil, this was issue
Oh.
number 13.
Oh, it's 50. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to edit this. I feel like an idiot now.
Well, they always use the same image. It's just the 100 is Alex Ross paint.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
got my
Yeah. And
issues
this
sorted.
was the Fleer color that they did on it, which is yeah, anyway. But I'm so excited to get another Brazilian issue of Wizard. It's always so interesting to see what they use from like the existing, comics, but also they have like a full letters page, and then they have a history of comics in Brazil in this, which I
Oh.
thought was really cool. So it'll tell you
But is it in
history of Marvel comics specifically being published in Brazil.
and
So
is it in English?
No, but I lived in Brazil. I speak Portuguese. I can read Portuguese, so it's
Whoa, okay.
that's why I get extra excited about those. I have lots of foreign issues, but the Brazilian ones I get extra excited about. So,
That's funny.
all right, close us out here,
All
Mike.
right, so finally, one of our listeners and viewers from our YouTube channel was I guess we've been following each other on Instagram for a while. His name is Redo Foil Fan, and he sent me a giant stack of comics.
Ooh,
So let's quickly open it and
break
see
the
what's in
tape.
here. Yeah, let's see what he. Oh my God, I almost locked this
You shook the earth with that pile falling.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, he knows what a huge He-Man fan I am. He sent me. Actually, this is one of my favorite issues. This is Rio Blast's issue. I love Rio Blast. Okay. Uh okay, so it looks like the majority, Adam, of these books are CPVs, so Canadian price variants.
Ooh.
And he says, "You're going to be the new CPV crush." That's another Instagram person. These are ones he already had. So I'm getting them, it looks like. So this is amazing. It's a Batgirl Magnola
Oh, I love that
CPV
one.
copy. Oh my God. He sent me a lot. We have Scarlet Witch and Vision. Holy jeez. This is we got Secret Wars 2, all CPV. Some Tales of the New Teen Titans. Look at that. Oh, The Way to My Heart, a Christmas cover. Dennis the
Yeah.
Menace. Oh, these look interesting. Wally and some Muppet Babies. It looks like there's more books inside. Do I
Oh.
dare open them? Should I see?
Let's see. Let's see what's tucked in behind.
Okay, so you saw, oh, it's a whole bunch of Muppet Babies.
Oh, I love my Muppet Babies.
Oh my God. I don't have any of these. This is huge. I actually had some of these in my last collection that was stolen, so these are
And
good
I
to
know you
replace
and
them.
I are both hunting the animal McDonald's Happy Meal figure. So one of
Yeah,
these days, maybe that's giving you some good juju to find it.
yeah. Oh, Ewoks. I did again. The few Ewoks comics I had were stolen, so these are great replacements.
So many
Muppet
Star
Babies.
comics, man.
Yeah, he knows I love him, right? Royal Roy. Never heard of him. Top Dog.
Not
Oh my
Richie
God.
Rich, it's Royal Roy. Get it
Royal
right.
Roy. This is a huge pile. Okay, let's see what's in this one. Oh, more Muppet Babies. You cannot go wrong with Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies. I may have the entire collection, it
That's what I was
feels
just
like.
gonna say now. You might have superhero Muppet Babies. I love it.
This is great. Okay. What do we have here? West Coast Avengers. Looks like they're CPV as well. Oh my goodness. Solo Avengers Hawkeye. So much goodness in there. Okay, this is cool. He also knows I love my McFarlane. This is a cover done by McFarlane.
Really?
Is that not wild? Yeah, it's Will Portacio, I think, and
Uh-huh.
McFarlane does it.
Yeah, I think Joe Casey wrote that series. Yeah, but who
Yeah.
inked him? That's what I want to know because it doesn't look like McFarlane.
Well, maybe McFarlane did the inking, and
Oh,
is it
I think
Wills?
it's Will Portacio. Yeah.
Or Pace, yeah. And because he's a huge foil collector, it looks like he has sent me probably the most famous, probably the best foil cover I've ever seen. It's pure gold. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah, I have the
It's
newsstand edition. I didn't have
This is
that.
the ultimate edition.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. And last but not least, two 90s classics.
So good.
So there we go. Thank you so much, Red. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and Mike, before we close out here, can you explain those of us who are south of the border here, the Canadian price variant? There might be some
Yes.
people watching, they don't get what you're talking about, CPV.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So the Canadian price variant were books that were newsstand editions, but there was a time period where they actually printed Canadian editions where normally if you look at any book, you'll see it. It'll say 2.95 US, $4 Canadian. They printed versions that were 65 cents that were just in America on newsstands. In Canada, they printed obviously a lower amount, a lower print run that were 75 cents. So there's 75 cents, 95 cents, $2, $1.25 versions that were only printed for Canada and very limited print runs on them.
That's
So
awesome.
that's
Yeah. So
that's
again, oh, there's always something to keep an eye out
yeah.
for. All right. Well, thank you so much for checking out our recent haul. Man, you got a double-sized haul video this time. This was something else. But we will be back with more for sure. But make sure you are checking out all that we have to offer you here on the channel. We have Comic Card Crazy. We're opening up vintage packs of trading cards. Mike and I are going to be doing a video together here shortly. And everything else that you could want from Wizards, the podcast guide to comics, can be found at wizardscomics.com, on our social media at Wizards Comics. Seek us out on your favorite podcast app, get our regular episodes. And if you want a little bit more, you can go on over to patreon.com/Wizards Comics. For $5 a month, you get early uncut release of the episodes. You get a scan of the issues we're talking about. I shared my haul from the road, so I would share that with Patreon before this video ever came out with a few extra stories mixed in. So you just never know what you're going to get over there. Lots of exclusive content, very fun community. But hey, until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.